As you can see, I have a lot of projects here on the bench. Now, this is not really what I'm currently actively working on. This is more representative of how my mind works and how there's all these projects that I want to do. And maybe one of the reasons why you see I don't post videos very often. And so, because of that, I wanted to ask for some of your help today. One of those things I'm wondering is what kind of videos you would like to see in the future that might motivate me to focus on particularly one of these projects. So let me talk about some of the projects. First, over here, we have my 50-watt Marshall heirloom quality build. Now that's in contrast to this 50-watt Marshall, which I built several years ago and liked quite a bit, wanted to do just a little bit better on it. So I did a heirloom quality build of a JMI AC15 a few years ago. That project took me like 2 years to finish because of its kind of complexity. That project had a custom circuit, and also so does this one. It has a bit of a custom circuit. So it's taken me a little bit longer than I would like for it to take. And sometimes I don't make a lot of progress on it because I have to think about things and then I have to remember where I was. Another recent project, I got a hankering to build. I found this cake pan at at the thrift store and thought it'd be great to build an amp for my son. So I got a Fender Reverb transformer and an old power transformer that would pair up really good to make like a 2-watt octal powered amplifier. So using like a 6SL7 as the power tube on that. That's kind of something I want to just throw together, see how it works, see if my son likes it, and if not, maybe just throw it up and on a local ad and sell it. This will also be kind of the beginning of me trying to make my own cabinet for an amplifier, which I haven't tried before. I think I do have a piece of wood just laying around that would work well for it. This amp here is going beginnings of like a Vox AC10. I've got a Hammond output transformer. This is a Blues Junior power transformer. This is a Hammond chassis, and I haven't quite got the guts of all this figured out yet. So that's in its infancy stages, but this is another project I'm planning to do in the future. And one of the reasons I'm doing this project in particular is because I have not been satisfied with Vox's current AC10 C1 amplifier and the way it was implemented. And I thought, I wonder if I could do better using the same kind of limitations of um, only 2 preamp tubes rather than the 3 tubes required for a top boost circuit and a push-pull output stage in a classic Vox amplifier. Moving on down the line, here is my 50-watt Marshall amplifier that I had been upgrading a little bit in preparation to selling it, try to make it sound a little bit better than the way it sounded for me while I was using it. I recently realized that this did not have a bright cap in it, and I've now installed a push-pull bright cap. So that can be selected and out of the circuit. This is something I want to implement on this amplifier, and so I thought I'd put it in this as a guinea pig. I'm hoping to sell this amplifier as soon as this one is built. I'm hoping that's going to be a selling point to its new owner, that it has a selectable bright cap. So we'll see how that works out. Over in this box here, I have the beginnings of a Vox AC4 top boost only amplifier. It's going to utilize some spare pieces of metal that I'm cutting up into a chassis, a Fender standard reverb power transformer, a Fender Champ output transformer, and even got some of these cool Vox style tag boards. And so I want to make kind of a JMI era styled AC4, put in a B-box cabinet, and run 2 8-inch speakers as my loudspeaker setup. That's another one that I make some progress every once in a while, but I get stuck and want to move on to something else. Now here we have a Matchless Hotbox clone that I built several years ago. I was showing this to my son the other day and he thought it sounded really good. I was trying to convince him that he should start using it, but when you push on the foot switch, something's a little loose in there. Probably maybe a cold solder joint or a solder joint that wasn't quite right. It also was built 10 years ago, so it probably needs a refresh on the capacitors. So this is another build video that I could do if you're interested. At least it needs a little bit of maintenance. Here I have a Vox AC4C1BL series amplifier. This is something this is kind of the first production amplifier that I bought for a long time, because Vox finally produced something that I thought was great. But playing, again, I mentioned that I'm not really particularly fond of the way that Vox has been handling things with their amplifier builds lately. So this amplifier is missing something, and that something is its circuit board. I actually ripped this out and rebuilt a hand-wired circuit into this amplifier, which is a lot like this, but it's actually using kind of half of a phase inverter there to simulate the effects of a phase inverter. And I think it sounds really great. I've really loved using this as a practice amp prior to my building my JMI style AC15 that I use more frequently now. So I could describe a little bit about how I accomplished this. This isn't really a common amplifier now. The one that's more common is the AC4C112. And this is actually an amplifier that I would love to purchase. I've seen some pretty good deals on some local sales.
Here's an example of one of the deals that I kind of keep an eye out for. This is one that's currently for sale.
I'm kind of saving up for some other things right now. But I would love to get my hands on one of those, rip out the circuit board, and do some things that I wasn't able to do in this amplifier because there just wasn't enough space. Now here I have something that looks a lot like a Vox Pathfinder 15, because it kind of is, but when you turn it around, you can see I did the same thing I did with the AC4C1BL, is I took the circuit board out. In fact, I took the entire chassis out, had this custom chassis manufactured, and built a hand-wired circuit into the amplifier. Now this one doesn't just have the top boost channel, it also has the EF86 channel, which kind of caused some problems, and I could cover that in a future video if you wish. This is also one of those projects that I built 10 or more years ago, and it needs some new capacitors and some refreshing and things of that nature. Now in this box here, I have some components which could be used to build like a 7591 based JTM45. This would be housed in one of my B-Box cabinets that I'm planning to build. And I would like to pair it with a 12-inch speaker. I'm currently watching classified ads to try to find one that's relatively inexpensive that would sound okay that I could put in there so that I could sell it. Now these are just some of the projects that I have in mind or have in the works. I also would love to build a 15-watt version of an Orange OR80. That's going to be one of those kind of heirloom quality builds that I'm going to spend a little bit more time on. So here's where I need your help. What kind of a video would you like to see in the future? Would you like to see one of these heirloom quality builds, kind of a medium-sized kit build with standard parts? We could do some of the videos where I purchase an actual AC10C1 and convert that to a hand-wired circuit. I'd love to do that. Or junk bin builds where I just try to build something cool out of spare parts. Just enough to kind of sell it and maybe make enough for parts for the next amplifier. So this is the question I have. What kind of video would you like to see? Now, one more thing I want to mention. I don't really ask people to like and comment and subscribe, because if you like the video, you watch it. And if you like many of my videos, hopefully the algorithm will say you should watch another similar video. But one thing that would be of benefit is if I'm able to get 400 subscribers and maybe like 10,000 of viewing hours, then I could actually participate in a program called Super Thanks, where you can just click on the video and make a donation to the channel. Now, if I'm able to reach that and you wanted to see a project, I'd like to see this project, here's a little bit, $5 towards it or something like that. then those kind of things, people subscribing, people like it, they kind of motivate me to work on that. So at this particular, I'm going to ask you to put some comments in about what kind of videos you enjoy. Also have kind of some guitar modification videos that I've got a Telecaster, Squire Affinity Telecaster that I've been working on, and it needs some nice Alnico pickups. So I'll be working on that. As soon as I sell this guy, then I'll be able to put some money into that. I've got an Epiphone Casino Coupe that needs some new pickups. So a lot of projects in the works, but sometimes I might need a little bit of direction. So let me know what you want to see, what kind of videos you like, and if you can help me kind of get to that 400 subscriber mark, then that might help me to continue with some of these projects. So I think that's it for today. Just wanted to say thank you for your support, and let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. Thank you.